I'd like to call the regular meeting of the President Board of Trustees of Cook and Will County, being held on July 16, 2024, beginning at 6 p.m. Will everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then just keep standing for a minute afterwards. Sorry.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone just please stay standing for a second.
Ladies and gentlemen, we put our faith into our Lord. We ask Him to give peace upon our country and certainly that of the world. This terrible tragedy that it should happen in our country is a scary idea, and we need to praise and ask the Lord to prevent this violence from happening throughout our nation. It's not a Democrat or a Republican, it's a human being. And because of someone's thought, they decided that they would have a chance to kill somebody else. A married man, a gentleman who worked for the community, a fireman, who threw his life upon his wife and children to save them, as any officer, any police officer, any fireman would do. So we've lost a brave, innocent man protecting his family, as our men and women do every day. We ask for this violence to please stop, and we ask you to watch over America. God bless America. Amen.
Thank you, Trustee Brady.
Thank you, Bill.
Now, item number 1, Trustee Mahoney.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to open a public hearing.
I have a second? Oh, sorry.
Okay, this public hearing is to conduct a public hearing regarding the annexation of the certain property at 18301 White Eagle Drive pursuant to 65 ILCS 5-7-1-13, which is the WLS radio tower. The Village of Tinley Park is proposing to annex the property at 18301 White Eagle Drive, currently housing a radio tower for WLS AM 890, under the allowances of the Illinois Municipal Code. We'd like to open the public hearing right now.
I think we have to do a roll for the public hearing.
Good. Can I receive any comments from the public? Are there any comments from the public on this item? Let the record reflect there are none. So we can close this hearing now, or is there further anything to do?
Yep, make a motion to close it.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to close this public hearing.
Second.
Second?
Yeah, somebody second.
It was Ken.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Call the roll for item 1.
Roll call for item 1, trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Brennan,
Yes.
trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller,
Yes.
trustee Shaw,
Yes.
trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. Before we go into item 2, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Brennan,
Present.
trustee Mahoney,
Present.
trustee Mueller,
Here.
trustee Shaw,
Present.
trustee Sullivan,
Here.
President Glass.
Present. Thank you. Item number 2, can I have a motion to consider approval of the agenda?
I'll
So
make that
moved.
motion. Give it to Bill. I'll second it.
Is there any comments on the agenda? No. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 2, trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Trustee Shaw,
Yes.
trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 3, I'd like to ask for a motion, consider approval of the minutes of the regular village board meeting held on June 18, 2024.
I will make the motion.
Second.
Are there any comments? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 3, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have item 4 can I have a motion, please, to consider a proclamation recognizing Tinley Park police officers Roberto Frias and Anthony Lefko for life-saving actions?
So moved. I'll
Second?
Thank you. We'd like to recognize Officers Roberto Frias and Anthony Lefko for the life-saving actions on Sunday, May 5th, 2025. Whereas on May 5th, 2024, Officers Roberto Frias and Anthony Lefko responded to a driver experiencing a heart attack in the intersection of 159th Street and Oak Park Avenue. Whereas upon arrival, both officers were met with frantic family members who were attempting first aid. The officers took immediate command of the scene while comforting family members. And whereas Officer Lefko performed chest compressions while Officer Frias used an AED, EMS arrived, continued treatment, and transported the victim to the hospital. Officer Frias relocated to the hospital and relayed updated health information to Officer Lefko to share with the victim's spouse and young daughters, who were still at the scene. The victim was breathing upon arrival at the hospital and was later upgraded to stable. Whereas Officer Lefko made arrangements to secure victim's vehicle and ensure that the family members were able to get to the hospital. Now therefore be it resolved by the President, Clerk, and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Tinley Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois, that Officers Frias and Lefko demonstrated exemplary care, compassion, and their expert response aided in saving of a life. Adopted the 16th day of July, 2024, signed by myself, Village President Michael W. Glotz, Village Clerk Nancy M. O'Connor, and Trustees William Brady, Dennis Mahoney, Kenneth Shaw, Bill Brennan, Michael Mueller, and Colleen Sullivan. You guys come down here?
Right day to wear pants, Mrs. Brady.
All right, good.
I'd like to have him take a picture with the chief.
Got a couple.
One more thing, you shot. Congratulations. Thank you. Well done.
John.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Oh,
Hey Greg, Sergeant and Johnny, you guys wanna take a picture with them?
Let's do one more. Come on down, guys.
nice try. That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Make it work.
Come on, get in. All right, ready? Thank you.
Congrats, guys.
Madam Clerk, you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 4, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have item number 5. I'd like to ask Board for a motion to consider a request from the National Association of Town Watch to proclaim Tuesday, August 6, 2024 as the 41st Annual National Night Out in the Village of Tinley Park.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. We'd like to recognize on Tuesday, August 6, 2024, as National Night Out in the Village of Tinley Park, whereas the National Association of Town Watch annually sponsors a nationwide crime, drug, and violence prevention program entitled National Night Out on the first Tuesday in August. And whereas the 41st Annual National Night Out provides a unique opportunity for the Village of Tinley Park to join forces with thousands of other communities across the country in promoting cooperative police community crime prevention efforts, and to assist the Tinley Park Police Department in said efforts. And whereas the Village of Tinley Park plays a vital role in assisting the Tinley Park Police Department through joint crime, drug and violence prevention efforts in the Village of Tinley Park, and is supporting National Night Out 2024 locally. And whereas it is essential that all citizens of Tinley Park be aware of the importance of crime prevention programs and their potential impact on reducing drugs, crime, and violence in the village. And whereas police community partnerships, neighborhood safety efforts, civic awareness, and community cooperation are important themes of the National Night Out program. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the President, the Clerk, and Board of Trustees of the Village of Tinley Park, Cook and Will County, Illinois, that the first Tuesday in August, on August 6, 2024, be designated as the National Night Out in the Village of Tinley Park. Approved the 16th day of July, 2024, signed by myself, Village President Michael W. Glatz, and tested by Village Clerk Nancy O'Connor. Dinah? You guys want to go up there?
Sure.
One more photo, Chief.
much. Thank you. Can I say a couple words about National Night Out?
Just a couple.
Oh, just very quick, very quick. Thank you very much. Tuesday, August 6th, from 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock is our National Night Out celebration. We have right now about 100 businesses, organizations, and churches and schools that are participating. We have Will and Cook County Sheriff Police participating, Metro Police participating. We'll have our Public Works, all our police vehicles. It'll be a very nice evening, and hopefully it won't be raining. So please come out and support our officers. And I've been doing this since 2006, so this is my 16th year of doing it. And we only took 1 year off in 2020 because of the pandemic. So please join us for National Night Out and make sure you thank that police officer for their service. Any questions?
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dinah.
I'm the civilian, so thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for
Have
your
a great night.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
We worked on everything.
Roll call for item 5, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes,
The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Item 6, trustee Colleen Sullivan.
thank you. I'd like to, looking for a motion to consider proclaiming August 4th through 10th, 2024 as National Farmers Market Week in the Village of Tinley Park.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Go ahead, Colleen.
Thank you. National Farmers Market Week highlights the vital role farmers markets play in our nation's food system. Consider proclaiming August 4th through 10th, 2024 as National Farmers Market Week in the Village of Tinley Park. Shall I read the proclamation?
It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll read it. Okay. Recognized on August 4th through 10th, 2024 as National Farmers Market Week in the Village of Tinley Park. Whereas local farmers markets are abundant sources of food, connection, and resilience in our communities, and farmers and ranchers provide citizens with access to healthful, locally and regionally produced foods through farmers markets. And whereas farmers markets foster direct relationships between community members and farmers, which can work to create a more fair and sustainable food system in and around Tinley Park. And whereas farmers markets serve as significant outlets by which small to medium, new and beginning, and veteran agricultural producers market products and locally produced foods, many of which are produced in Tinley Park and surrounding areas. And whereas the Village of Tinley Park recognizes the importance of expanding agricultural marketing opportunities that assist and encourage the next generation of farmers, producers, and consumers. And whereas the Village of Tinley Park is proud to recognize that the Tinley Park Farmers Market is in its 27th season of operation, serving as one of the longest-running markets in the south suburbs, with 50 vendors showcasing their goods on a weekly basis. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the President and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Tinley Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois, that August 4th to August 10th, 2024 be designated as National Farmers Market Week in the Village of Tinley Park. Adopted the 16th day of July 2024, signed by Mayor Michael Glotz and Clerk Nancy O'Connor. I will give this to Kelly. Is that who's getting this?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 6, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item number 7, receive presentation of the Tinley Park Business Spotlight, Jimmy John's and Moochie World by President Glotz and Clerk O'Connor. Clerk, would you like to go first?
Jimmy John's, located at 7935 171st Street, offers a variety of gourmet sandwiches and wraps featuring bread baked in-house, hand-sliced meats, and fresh veggies. Please join me in welcoming Joe Jakesich of Jimmy John's. Hope I said that.
It's not going up alone.
I want to thank the mayor and the board for having us, and thank you to Carolyn for setting this up. So this is my sister Donna. We've been partners for this 21 years. We just relocated in the same strip mall. We have a brand-new Jimmy John's for you guys to come and see on the end of 171st and 80th Avenue. One way we grow our business, Jimmy John's grows our business, is by handing out samples, which is what you see going on behind me. So we brought samples for you guys. And for the board, we have a party box with some chips. And we gave it to Lisa, so you guys can have some after the
It's
meeting.
right next to me.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
No worries.
We don't trust her.
So real briefly, I mean, we're longtime Tinley Park residents. We went to Keller, Kirby, Grissom, Andrew. So we're really happy when we were able to put a Jimmy John's in Tinley Park. You know, like I said, we've been for 21 years. We have another one in Frankfurt. And we're in the works of putting one down in the Coal City area. If you guys know anybody down there, you can let them know. You know, we love being in Tinley Park. We'll sometimes sponsor or sample at 5K races. The big event we do every so often is the St. Patrick's Day Parade. If you guys saw us there, we were kind of like the spectacle at the end.
It's the highlight of my kids' day. You guys throw in.
We were throwing sandwiches.
They'd rather have that than candy.
They said we couldn't. They said we couldn't throw them here, so we're just handing them out.
Probably could've.
So that's about it. I mean, you gave the nice summary. You know, we bake everything bread fresh. We slice all the veggies. The meats we slice, you know, ourselves too. And we do deliver, which I know a lot of places deliver now, but we've been delivering way before DoorDash and Uber Eats, you know. So hopefully you guys come to 171st and 80th and have a good experience, or any Jimmy John's around. But that one or the Frankfurt one by Home Depot.
Thank you.
So this is John and Kirsty back here. So that's my team today. We definitely, I couldn't do this alone, so.
You guys are great. We're glad that we were able to move Dunkin' Donuts out of that location to the corner where nothing was making it,
That was-
right?
yes.
We put the drive-through through there, and now you guys, every time my wife or my kids would go to yours, the parking was always difficult
It's
because
difficult, yeah.
you're in that corner. So we're glad that you guys are on the corner now. Last time my wife and I went there after you opened up, the one girl said that you guys were just really busy. So hopefully that's true.
Yeah, it was a struggle the first 3-4 years because we were in a corner. You know, we did make it, and people do know, but as we were building that new store, there was a residence that she lives, you know, a few blocks away, and she was excited there's now gonna be a Jimmy John's near her house. And we're like, okay, well, there's one right there that's open.
Well,
So-
you're overshadowed by ice cream.
Yes,
Yes.
Plush Horse was a good
Yeah.
neighbor, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, we're happy to be in a more visible location.
Great, we're happy for you guys. Do a great job.
All right, thank you, guys.
And thanks for dinner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the best business presentation ever.
Next is Mucci World. What are you bringing? Steaks? Mucci World's located at 7911 to 7913, 171st Street. It's a place for everyone and brings back quality time, art, fun, and wellness. They offer open studio hours, mobile art sessions, a splat room, and much more. We are pleased to welcome Mary Mucci of
Thank
Mucci
you.
World.
I miss you guys. We're right across the street from Jimmy John's and Plush Horse, and they've been very kind to us during the years. And I've been there, well, Mary Elizabeth Mucci, maybe, and then say thank you very much for allowing us to be here, me to be here today. It's been difficult I've been there 9 years now, and right in the corner. But we're growing. People are seeing us, and people are coming by and just having some quality time. And our place is not just an art studio, for those that are artists. Our place is for families, for building relationships. So we've had date night. We've had people, blind dates, it's a safe haven to come and enjoy themselves. We have, bless you, ceramics, canvas painting, we have classes, we have sketching and drawing classes. We have our awesome splat room where you can come and throw paint on your objects and on each other. So it's a little smaller. One day we're going to grow bigger because we're growing out of that building. But we're just having a bunch of fun just watching everyone come in and have a nice creative time. Our place is, my passion is to see people have fun and to enjoy life. When they come out from the outside, I tell them forget about that and just come in and have a beautiful, at least an hour, 2 hours of just me time and just stress-free without thinking of all the problems. And whenever you're doing art or anything like putting paint on a paper or whatever you're doing, it takes your mind off of your of reality, right? So all the bad things that have been going on, we want to just put that behind us. And I'm shocked, not shocked. I'm very happy that there is prayer because we all need it, right? We need someone to protect us and guide us. And this world now today is a little different. But when you come into Mucci World, you can leave the world out and come into Mucci World. And it's just a variety of wonderful things to do. We have wonderful people that come in, like I said, from the community. I just want people to be aware that we're there. There's a lot of people still in Tinley that don't know we're there, but I want them to experience us at Mucci World. Everyone that comes in is awesome, and we just want to share with everybody the wonderful experience of having some peace and joy in this wonderful world of ours. So I really appreciate you let me. It's not my first rodeo, said Lisa, but you always get nervous when you come up here for some reason. I just get nervous, but I'm very grateful. You guys are a wonderful group. You're doing a lot for Tinley. Actually, my lease is up this year, and I had a thought, should I stay or go? And the mayor is like, no, stay. So I appreciate you, Mayor, that I'm going to stay in Tinley, and I'm going to grow with you guys. And I see all the different things that you're doing, and I know it's not easy because you got the people that are for you and people against you, but you're working hard, and I appreciate that. Each one of you are very special. I don't know you individually, but you need to be applauded for everything that you do, even giving up your sacrificial time and living for the people. And the firemen, the police officers, it's just a beautiful thing, and you don't get enough praise. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, my family's heart, that you're here, and you're doing a wonderful job for Tinley and the community. We have a second location. I'm almost done. We grew. We have a second location of my new baby. We're going to be 1 year at the Yorktown Mall in Lombard, Illinois, next to Forever 21, if you're ever in that area. It's a beautiful, nice place. And it's just wonderful. We'll be there in August. Will be our first year there. And we look to expand in different communities. We want to have a Mucci World in every town. Not because of Mucci World myself, but because everyone needs it. Everyone needs stress-free times, even the little children to seniors. We deal with seniors. We have our singles events for them. We have the veterans program that we want to do more of, with the sessions where they can de-stress. We have people that are from drug agencies that come, and they have their group there to have some quality time as well. Behavioral groups that come down that deal with different things that they have experienced a good time at Mucci World. And foster homes and foster people where the kids are separated and they bring siblings together. That's a bittersweet thing because it's sad to see them separated, but when they come together, they are just very happy to be together and doing some wonderful things. But thank you again. I hope to see you all. We have our parties going on, booking for our parties for the holidays. We have business team building. We've had Ace Hardware, Ford come over and have a good team meeting. So it's not like art place only for art. It's about getting together and having some quality time and fun. Okay?
Thank you, Mary. Good.
All right, love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I ask Mary something?
Sure.
Mary?
Yes.
I know I'm going to give you an opportunity to plug your business too. I know you're nominated for a few different categories with the Southland's Best.
Oh, yeah.
So do you know, I can't think of offhand which
Best
of the
CEO.
categories. I know I think there was CEO, there was a date night spot. Do you know all the places if you want to
We had
mention?
so many, I was pretty shocked.
Yeah, so if you know them offhand, say which ones, because let people vote, and Southland's Best is a great way to plug your favorite businesses.
Oh, thank you,
Want to
thank
give you
you.
the opportunity to.
All right, let's see if I remember. We're in the date night. We're in the art boutique. We're on the, I was nominated for the best CEO. We have the It's under local entertainment, the best family entertainment and local entertainment. And there's 6 of them. I don't remember the
I've
others.
seen a few different categories.
Yeah, there was a
actually.
few of them, and that was a real blessing to me. And everybody is awesome, but thank you so much for, at least, thanks for voting. And we'll see what happens, right? You guys are the best. Tinley Park is the best.
Every day.
I've been here 26 years. I live in Tinley Park. My business has been here, and I look forward to growing with all of you. And if ever you want to do a team meeting, come to my place. We'll have a lot of fun. Right.
Thanks,
Thank you
Mary.
again.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
saying that.
Next, we have item number 8. Is there a motion to consider the following licensee committee assignments?
I'll make the motion.
I will second that.
So what this is, we have putting together a licensing committee. Just that says Ken Shaw would be the chair, and then trustee Bill Brennan and Mueller would also be on the licensing committee as well. Any questions?
Would you, not to put you on the spot, but just
No.
a little something about the scope of responsibility on the.
Hannah?
What is the licensing committee?
So we actually, our licensing committee technically already exists within our municipal code. We just realized there wasn't anyone actually appointed to it. So licensing committee would just handle any issues that come up as it relates to licenses across the village. So that could be liquor, business, rental, et cetera. Anything that's technically a village issued license would be handled under this licensing committee if needed.
Thank you, Hannah. Any other questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 7, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Bless you. Is in type.
To get this item 8, though.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 9.
Oh, sorry.
Huh?
It was item 8, I said 7.
Oh. Item number 9. Like to ask for a motion to consider appointment of legal counsel for the Village of Tinley Park 2024 bond issue.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Staff is seeking appointment of legal counsel for the Village of Tinley Park 2024 bond issue. Consider appointing Shepherd, Mullen, Richter, and Hampton LLP. Are there any questions from the board? Are there any comments from the public? Record reflect there are none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 9, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item number 10. May I have a motion to consider approval of the consent agenda items?
I'll make that motion.
I will second.
Thank you. Consent agenda items have been publicly posted and available for review on the agenda for this meeting. Would anyone from the board like any of these meetings removed, or any of these items removed from the consent agenda tonight? Let the record reflect there are none. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 10, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 11, trustee Dennis Mahoney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move we consider adopting ordinance 2024-0-036, annexing the property at 18301 White Eagle Drive pursuant to 65 ILCS 57-1-13, which is the WLS radio tower.
I'll second that.
Go ahead, Dennis.
Thank you. The parcel will be annexed under the R1 zoning district. The annexation will be effective on the date of passage. This item was discussed at the committee of the whole meeting held prior to this meeting. This ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the board? Questions? Are there any comments from the public? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 11, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. Next is an excellent item. Item number 12, trustee Mahoney.
Thank you. I move we consider adopting ordinance 2024-0-037, granted a special use for a substantial deviation to the Park Place PUD with exceptions for construction of a drive-through restaurant located at 16210 Harlem Avenue, which will be a Chick-fil-A.
I'll second that.
Go ahead, Dennis.
Thanks. The request allows development of a Chick-fil-A drive-through restaurant at an outlet parcel located at 16210 Harlem Avenue in the B3 PD zoning district. The Plan Commission held a public hearing on June 20th of 2024 and voted 8-0 to recommend approval of the special use in accordance with the plans, recommended conditions, exceptions, and findings of fact listed in the staff report. This ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Thank you, Dennis. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
Looking forward to it.
Are there any comments from the public regarding Chick-fil-A? Let the record reflect there are none, and this will pass. Item number 12, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 12, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Thank you, that motion carries. So between the Plan Commission and the board, it's 14-0. Thank you very much. Look forward to it.
You can also go to Jimmy John's on Sunday.
There you go.
See you, thank you.
I gotta bring some of that sauce. Yeah.
Said Chick-fil-A on Monday. Item 13, trustee Mahoney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move we consider adopting Resolution 2024-R-080, approving a contract between the Village of Tinley Park and Eco Lighting Services and Technology LLC for the replacement of the interior lighting at Oak Park Avenue train station.
Second?
Thank you.
Thank you. The contract amount shall not exceed $117,790. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole meeting held prior to this meeting. This resolution is eligible for adoption.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Or are there any comments from the public? To record reflect there are none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 13, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Item 14, trustee Colleen Sullivan.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to consider adopting ordinance 2024-0-038, amending table 9, section 1-9-2, related to special event permit fees in the Village of Tinley Park. For a second?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead. Should have let Mike read that one.
I think it's 11.
No, it's not. It's 9. The ordinance amends table 9, section 1-9-2. I don't think it is 11. Is it?
Yes, I'm positive.
Occasion.
Okay.
Just an FYI.
All right, I thought I knew my 1 through 10, but I guess it's, I didn't miss one. All right, should I start over here? Okay, it's amending table 11, section 1-11-2, related to special event permit fees in the Village of Tinley Park. We got our, who seconded?
Done.
Deb, okay. The ordinance amends table 11, section 1-11-2, related to special event permit fees. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole held prior to this meeting. This ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
I still think it's 9. I'm looking it up.
No? Between Colleen and Mike. Are there any comments from the public?
It's 11. That's my comments.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll on item number 14.
Roll call for item 14, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes, I stand corrected. Sorry.
Motion carries. Item 15, trustee Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion considering adoption of resolution 2024-R-084, approving an agreement between the Village of Tinley Park and Robert W. Baird and Company Incorporated for municipal advisory services.
I'll second the motion.
Go ahead, Ken.
This agreement reaffirms Baird and Company to provide municipal advisory services for the Village of Tinley Park 2024 bond issue. This resolution is eligible for adoption.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board? Are there any comments from the public? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 15, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Item number 16, trustee Bill Brennan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to consider adopting ordinance 2024-0-039, opting out of the Illinois Municipal Code's police officer applicant age restriction.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan. This ordinance opts the village out of the Illinois Civil Service statute as it relates to the hiring age of officers. Instead, the village will set an age limits under the Home Rule Authority. This ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
No, I'll just say this is very much in line with what police and fire boards are doing. So this kind of gets us more in line with other communities within the state, so.
Keeps us competitive.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the public?
What is the age?
Can you come up to the microphone, please?
I got a wheelchair. I just was wondering what the age is.
We could probably.
It's for lateral hires, it's 39. It brings the age to 39.
Oh, what's the youngest you can be?
21.
See, guys,
Oh, okay.
next time, they have to come to the mic. Going back and forth. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 16, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Trustee Brennan, item 17.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to consider adopting ordinance 2024-0-040, amending the rules and regulations for the Village of Tinley Park Civil Service Commission.
I'll second that motion for super
Thank-
trustee
Go
Brady.
ahead, Bill.
Brennan.
Thank you, trustee Mueller. Upon opting out of the civil service state statute requirements, the village civil services rules and regulations need to be amended to reflect this change. The age requirement would shift from 34 years old to 39 years old for lateral hires only. Entry-level patrol officers would still fall under the existing age requirement of 34 years old. So this ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Thank you. What did you call him, Mike? I didn't hear you.
Super trustee.
No. Well, he's super lawyer, too.
I didn't get to him yet.
We got super trustee and a super lawyer. No, there's an article on it. He was nominated as super lawyer. Are there any questions from the board? Are there any questions from the public? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 17, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have item number 18, Super Trustee Brennan.
Word. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to consider adopting Resolution 2024-R-087 for a blanket purchase order requested with Air One for the purchase of bunker gear.
I will second that.
Thank you, trustee
Go ahead.
Sullivan.
Super.
Super trustee Sullivan. This resolution approves the blanket purchase order requested with Air One in the amount of $100,000 for the purchase of bunker gear needed to keep the fire department members properly outfitted for the job. Air One is a sole source provider for Globe products and is the only authorized MSA fire service distributor in the Chicago metropolitan area. This resolution is eligible for adoption.
Thank you, Bill. Are there any questions or comments from the board? No? Are there any comments from the public? Madam Clerk, please call the roll for item 18.
Roll call for item 18, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item 19, trustee Michael Mueller.
I move we consider adopting Resolution 2024-R-081, approving a contract between the Village of Tinley Park and Sewer Assessment Services, LLC, for inflow and infiltration investigations.
For a second.
Second. Thank you, Mr. Mahoney. Please consider approving a contract with Sewer Assessment Services, LLC, in the amount of $134,612.68. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole, held just prior to this meeting, and is eligible for adoption tonight.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? No. John, is there something that you wanted to add to this item?
Yes, sir. You know, as everybody is aware, this is an ongoing testing process that we follow for the village-wide, making sure that we are meeting the watershed management ordinance that MWRD does place on us. And segueing with that, we did have a report that was filed against the village, you know, for the by the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, otherwise known as IEPA. There was a complaint filed by the former state property, also owned by, managed by the Park District now. Up until recently, the sanitary and stormwater was being managed, you know, locally, and it was properly being pumped through our system. With the loss of power and coordination efforts on that property, we were getting inundated with stormwater into our sanitary system. Working with the EPA and their field investigator when this complaint was filed by a site complainant, we were finding out that you know, this inundation was causing our systems a lot of problems that went against this inflow and infiltration WMO, and because of such, we you know, added a valve to the outflow sanitary line from the state property, which again was being inundated with stormwater. And as this report that I received from the IEPA, there is a lot of pollution in this stormwater from contaminants that are on site. I have the report here in front of me, and there's over 100 pages to this report showing all of the potential contaminants. And again, you know, there was a concern that what we did was against you know, what we should have done by not allowing them to drain into our system. And you know, all of the report does show that this came back, that everything we did was within our rights and power as per governed by MWRD, and ultimately it was you know, a concern of IEPA that they were flooding the site, and you know, it was asked that if we could allow them to flow some excess water in times of you know, of over flooding, which, you know, my response was at that point with you know, with the undoubtable response from MWRD that they would allow that, because I do not want to risk our residents or our systems by allowing that type of you know, flow into our system with those pollutants. So that's, you know, pretty much where the investigation ended, is that everything we did within our power was everything we should have done to protect ourselves and our systems.
Great job, John. I just want to add something real quick, and then I want to ask the attorney a quick question. So the complainant was Mike Maloney, who's just a vendor or from the, working for the Park District. The Park District didn't file, they had their vendor file it, or whatever he is, consultant. And the disturbing thing about it, not one employee, according to the report from the Illinois EPA, met the Illinois EPA on site. So the three people that met the Illinois EPA on site was Mike Maloney, who doesn't work for the Park District. He's just hired at, to do whatever he does. And Senator Hastings and Bob Rita met the Illinois EPA, not one employee of the Park District, which just shows you how unfortunately political it was. And it's sad that the Illinois EPA asked our Public Works Director to consider allowing polluted water from their storm sewer to pump through our sanitary lines. So, John, thank you for that. And then I just wanted to ask our village attorney, number one, is it even legal to do that? And what's the legal parameters for keeping all that separate and why?
Because the village has separate storm and sanitary, we connect to the MWRD, and our storm goes right to the MWRD's receiving lines, which goes right into the freshwater. It's not treated. So if the mental health park district were to put their contaminated water into our storm sewer, we would be pumping it into the freshwater, and I believe violating both EPA, MWRD, and your fiduciary obligations to the public.
And what repercussions could there be towards the village if we're pumping that water through there?
Certainly, you can get an injunction. You'd be violating state and county ordinances. You could be sued, fined. It would not be advisable.
Okay, thank you. Are there any comments or questions from the board?
Make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead, Nance.
So, back in April, I spoke with the US EPA concerning the flooding on the property. They set up a conference call between myself, the US EPA, a couple people from the US EPA and the IEPA. I informed them that there's massive flooding on the site. 1.6 miles of tunnels are flooded. At least 10 basements are flooded. There are a couple of new Tinley Park lakes. They're stating that there's no contamination. I wrote a post a bit ago showing the photos from the report of Tetra Tech that was completed in September and October of 2023 that shows just how much the interior has deteriorated with asbestos hanging, lead paint hanging. So all of that is in the water that they want to pump into our system. I just want people to be aware of that. And that was an official complaint with the US EPA. And it was after that that the gentleman that I was on the phone with from the IEPA sent me the rules and regulations from IEPA stating how that water from cannot mix with our system and then go to MWRD. And yet he was the one who contacted John to ask him if the park district could pump that into our system. I just want people to be aware of the entire process of what took place, that I filed a complaint, then they filed a complaint against us for protecting our system and MWRD. Just full transparency so everybody knows exactly how this took place. Thanks, that's it.
In the lift stations, 5 and 9, I think that's correct, right, John?
Yes, sir.
Had been under massive, massive pressure, and we never knew why until luckily Public Works figured it out after the state shut the power off that, what they were doing from the mental health center land. So, and again, the clerk received an email that you can't pump the storm into the sanitary, but now they're asking us, can you just pump it into the sanitary for them?
And just so you know, they have a dual system
So,
on the grounds. It's sanitary and storm.
are there any any comments or questions from the board?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't really have a lot to add with respect to details. I would just like to emphasize from what John had stated that it's commendable. This is not really just a matter of John and the village acting within appropriate authority, but acting in the best interest of the community as well. So it's doing the right thing. And that's something that I want to make sure. It's not just simply, we did something because we can. We did it because it's the right thing. And needed. That's definitely supported by the multitude of responsibilities and consequences outlined by our attorney. Thank you.
Anything else? Are there any?
I got a quick question though. In regards to pumps, our pump stations 5 and 9, is that really the only oversight we're gonna get is based on speculative usage of those 2 stations? Is there nothing else that we have?
So, again, there was a chain of events that caused us to investigate this. We originally fed village water to the site. And with the transfer from state to park district, that meter was shut, therefore not affording us any incoming clean water. The outflow has a meter on it, which is the adjacent post 9 that the mayor spoke of. We have everything on a system that, monitors every gallon of inflow. And we were seeing an excessive amount of inflow for a site that covers the state property, the library, the train station, and the other facility that's on Timber Drive there. So based on the amount of gallonages that we were receiving, did not compute for the amount of toilets and sinks that were in those facilities. So that's where we started raising a red flag and doing our investigation. With the understanding that, again, there was no inflow of clean water to that site. It was, our understanding that all of the outflow was stormwater that was inundating the sanitary lines. And with that being said, not only as, Trustee Shaw brings up, it's not just a matter of, what we can do, because ultimately it's a sanitary treatment, and we do charge ourselves and our residents and any other facility in town for sanitary treatment based off of the inflow of water. We realized we were being charged for, sanitary treatment, but not forwarding that on to the proper authority. But we also realized that it was just an illegal action, so therefore we shut, installed the valve to shut the gate until, it was being managed properly. With that being said, there is no other outflow into our village system. They, again, they have flooding out there. There's the creek that lines Harlem Avenue. There's, other ways for drainage to exit the property, but it's not through our managed systems.
Very good.
It can't go.
Thanks, John.
It can't go into the drainage ditch, though. US EPA has stated that. It can't go there. That's a,
It can't,
It can't.
or it's not
It cannot.
allowed to be?
it's not allowed to.
Okay. It's
Because
difference.
of connected to US waterway. And it's also I can't remember the word, there's issue with that Hickory Creek watershed, that it can't be pumped in. That's what I was told.
So, thank you, John, for the update. If anyone wants that report, I'm sure John can get it to you. I don't know if it's too big to send. He may have to have IT create a share file for you to send it, so if you need it, just contact Lisa and she can get it for you, and they can put it in a share file for you or something. Or Pat or Hannah, unless John can do it, but anyway. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Are there any comments from the public? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Roll call for item 19, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have item number 20. Trustee Mueller.
I move we consider adopting Resolution 2024-R-082, approving a contract between the Village of Tinley Park and Christopher B. Burke Engineering for the Water Main Replacement Program Design Engineering Services.
I will second that.
Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you, Super Trustee Sullivan. Please consider approving a contract with Christopher B. Burke Engineering in the amount of $301,330. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole, held just prior to this meeting, and is eligible for adoption tonight.
Thank you, Mike. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Are there any comments from the public? Madam Clerk, please call the roll for item number 20.
Roll call for item 20, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Next, we have item 21, Laughing Waters. Trustee Mueller.
I move we consider adopting Resolution 2024-R-083, approving a contract between the Village of Tinley Park and Laughing Waters, Inc. for bid package 2-13 Harmony Square Water Feature.
I will second that.
Go ahead.
Please consider approving a contract with Laughing Waters, Inc. in the amount of $876,434. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole, held just prior to this meeting, and is also eligible for adoption tonight.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
Just to kind of reiterate what I said during the Committee of the Whole, if you go out and look at the bid package with the relevant experiences that they have, this is going to be a great addition to Harmony Square. They've put a lot of great stuff together, and looking forward to having this in our community as well.
It's no laughing matter.
No laughing matter.
No, not.
Are there any other comments or questions from the board? Are there any comments from the public on item 21? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 21. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Last item, 21, 22, Trustee Mueller for his pavement crack fill program.
I move we consider adopting Resolution 2024-R-088, approving a contract between the Village of Tinley Park and SKC Construction for the 2024 pavement crack fill program.
I'll second it.
Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you, Super Trustee Brennan. Please consider approving a contract with SKC Construction in the amount of $168,000. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole, held just prior to this meeting, and is eligible for adoption tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mueller. Are there any questions or comments from the board on item number 22? Are there any comments from the public for item 22? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 22. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have item 23, receive comments from staff. Would anyone from the left table have any comments you'd like to make? Anyone from the right side? Donna, you're smiling.
I would like to, yes. We're very excited. Our annual block party is happening this weekend. It's a great opportunity for the whole community to come together. Truly taking a village. All of our departments come together as well to support the community. Got a great lineup of music. We've got entertainment, rides, great vendors. So all kinds of fun to be had this weekend. Saturday 2 to 10, Sunday noon to 7. And if anybody wants details, they can be found at tinleypark.org/block party. I'd also just like to take 1 second with regard to that proclamation that we did earlier. I would like to give a little shout out to Kelly Oswald, who has done a phenomenal job with our farmers market. It is truly one of the best in the region right now. We hear great compliments all the time. People come from several communities over. So a little shout out to her for all the hard work she's done to make that such a great event. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Urbanski?
Yes, thank you. Just wanted to make a statement that, as we are all aware, we had quite the storm roll through town and most of the county and surrounding areas last night. My staff has been out diligently since approximately 11 o'clock last night, nonstop, trying to clear up all of the right-of-ways for emergency services and thoroughfare for our residents. There has been estimated of over 50 trees that have been taken out by this storm. There's been a lot of, movement going on. We continue to move as much as we can off of the streets and off of the parkways. We're estimating this is going to take upwards of a week plus to get, the areas cleaned up. We ask residents that if they do have any issues with trees in their parkway, we're getting to them as fast as possible, again, with priority of thoroughfare and dangerous branches and limbs that are hanging from the trees. And eventually we will be able to go through town and pick up everything that has been left in the parkway. If you have trees or branches that are in your private property, backyards, we ask that you put them in your lawn waste bins and coordinate through your management waste management company scheduled times for pickup on that. But again, if you have anything that does need to get picked up, please reach out to our website or our email address at tppw@tinleypark.org. and they will be added on the list and picked up as expeditiously as possible.
And if you're leaving it out for the garbage company to take, you gotta make sure you wrap it in twine, so they could just pick it up and throw it in the bin.
There's a maximum length, I think, too. I forget if it's 3 feet. I think it's like 3 feet.
3 feet.
4 feet? Somewhere in there.
Thank you.
Probably best to check.
Do 3.5.
Probably best to check it down.
Thank you. Chief, you got anything over there?
All good.
Okay. Next, we have item number 24, receive comments from the board. Anyone from the board care to comment?
I have some comments here, Mr. Mayor. Just since John was.
Just 1 second.
Oh, sorry.
Public comment is after the board comments. Go ahead.
Since John was just talking about the storms, I just wanted to relay some comments I got from residents who were complimenting just the professionalism and response of the Public Works crews that went out there. Obviously, as time went on, the list got longer, and so, folks who got in there early got to first on the list, and as you said, it's gonna take a while. But still, I wanted to make sure that I passed along the comments that the residents felt that the crews did a really good job. They got out there and they were pretty thorough. They didn't just get in and leave a bunch of stuff. They were pretty thorough about cleaning up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the board have any comments?
Yes, I do, Mr. Mayor.
You want to finish writing first, or?
No,
Okay.
I was just writing down what Trustee Shaw was saying.
Go ahead, Mr. Brady.
Yes, a couple of things. One, to go along with Donna said, Farmers Market, I was there Saturday, and the people that I talked to about it just loved everything that was there and all that she had done, and the amount of vendors that are there, and people, it was just fabulous. And also, I've been, Mr. Bansky knows about this, in contact with a lot of people that see me in church about 94th Avenue. It was so nice to go to church and have those people come up to me and say, hey, it's finally done. Thank you very much, blah, 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 blah. And it's beautiful to finally have that done. It's been on our agenda for a while. And the compliments to John that followed up on that. They all appreciate you, John. I told him to pray for you.
Thank you. The time it took us to do that is, obviously because that is not a village right away, that's
Right.
county-owned property. And, we did what we do best, and we kind of gave them a little nudge to get some stuff done a little bit quicker than they wanted to, so.
Yeah, yeah. And back to you, Donna. The amount of compliments that I got on Ribfest and all that was done, just fabulous. No, nothing negative. Nothing negative.
Good to hear.
That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Just, the Rib Fest was not a village event. It was run by a third party.
Right,
We
but-
just made sure that our police, our fire, Public Works and Marketing Unified Command was overseeing it and making
Right,
sure that we
right.
all were kept safe.
And the people that's exactly what I was told, that people felt safe.
They did.
Thank you, Chief.
Anyone else? Nance?
No.
As far as the store, like, John said, thanks, they've been out since 11 o'clock, the Public Works. And also our first responders, our fire, police, they were answering calls during that storm. We were getting sirens, and they were getting called to calls, so thank you, Chief Tilton, Chief Klotz, and our EMS, so thank you for everything that they did. Also, want to mention another thing. We had a lawsuit, it's 2021 CH 3867, another one that was filed by Stephen Eberhard. It went really well in court again today. The official ruling should be done by September 5th because it was so long. She didn't have time to put pen to paper. They'll be back in court on September 5th. She's dismissing everything with prejudice, and also is allowing the village to file for sanctions for the frivolous complaint. And basically what the strongest point that she made is she also agrees with the other judges that most of these lawsuits are not filed because he feels he's been wronged. They're filed to just harass, staff employees, residents, so kudos to Judge Haran, so thank you for those comments today. We have a tax seminar coming on August 8th, which is just, unfortunately for everyone, it's just been brutal to see those tax bills from the Cook County Assessor. And that's kind of why, the board knew this was coming, and that's why we voted for a 0% levy. For some people that did see an increase in their bill from the village, it wasn't from the levy, it was because the assessor's office raised everyone's assessed value so high. That's what increased it. So I want to thank Village Attorney Mike Delgado, who helped me set this up with Cook County Commissioner Rogers. I want to thank Carrie Steele from MWRD, who's a part of it, Monica Gordon, who's also a part of this, and Lisa Valley, who did a lot of the work going back and forth with Cook County, so we can get the flyer together, which will be going out shortly, and it will be held in our Carlson Center. I'm assuming after everyone's tax bill, it's going to be busy, so make sure you get there early. So you can get a seat. It'll probably be standing room only, but again, thank you, Mike, for helping us set that up, to help our residents with that.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, what time do you have that?
6 PM to 8 PM.
Okay.
Also wanted to address a situation, bids were opened on June 3rd for the Park District for the Mental Health Center. The low bid was 14.78. The next one was 22.3 million. Next one was 24.7 million. Next one was 24.8 million. And then the next one was 32.5 million. Apparently, there were some things that were missed in the bid when they put it out. Our village, our attorneys, we've never heard of that. They allowed the bidders to just change their bids, which is kind of odd. So Omega, which was the lowest one at 14.78, was now able to increase their bid that they already bid to 19.3 million. So they were just allowed to add $4.5 million to their bid, which doesn't happen at the village or any municipality. It might be illegal. There's a whole bidding process. I believe it has to go out for rebid if there was issues with the bid. You can't just let them change it, correct?
I don't know the specifics of what happened, but typically, yes.
Yeah. So, so now it's gone up to 19.3 million is the lowest from 14.78. Like I said, it's been since June 3rd. Today's July 15th or 16th, and we haven't heard one thing about the bids. It's gonna cost them, which unfortunately cost us a fortune. They're already at 20 million, and they've already spent $1 million to cut trees down a year ago and to remove a couple underground storage tanks, and they've already spent $1 million. They only have 14 left. They need another 20 million just to clean it up, which that number will be, by the time they're done, it'll be 30 million by the time they start digging it up. So that's unfortunate. Wait for them to come out with that. And that's about it. No one else has anything? We will move on to item number 25, receive comments from the public. Can you hold on 1 second, Diane?
I'd like to ask you
Can you
guys
hold on
for some
1
extra
second,
time
please, so we
before
can
you
make sure
start the clock.
is up?
Before you start the clock, I'd like to
Yes.
ask the board for extra time if I need it at the end. You guys consider that for me? Yes, you'll consider that? No motion, the mayor says don't make the motion, so I guess I don't get extra
Wait,
time.
You haven't told
time out, Diane.
Are you gonna
I
make a
have never,
motion?
I did not say.
Okay,
I don't know
go
why
ahead,
you do this.
go ahead, go ahead.
I did
I'm
not
waiting.
say, I told the board to not make a motion.
Is there
So
gonna be a
stop.
motion?
Not now.
No.
All right,
Okay, so
start the clock, please.
you guys will not give me extra time? Not give me extra
Based
time?
on what?
I'm gonna speak to you tonight. I'm asking for extra time. Will you give me extra time if I need it at the end? No. Okay.
Let's just note that. Tonight, I'm going to talk about the mayor and his, how the mayor disregards our village ordinances, and he makes personal and political attacks. In 2021, an ethics complaint was filed against me by one of the mayor's political cronies. The person who filed the complaint had help writing it from the attorney who's now a village attorney. The same attorney who kept calling me at home, telling me he was the only one to help me with GLATs. The independent counsel, who was appointed to investigate the complaint made against me, as it turns out, the attorney was not independent as the ordinance requires. The attorney was a friend and co-worker of the village attorney. Appointing him, it violated the village's ordinances. But he was appointed because the mayor and Paul O'Grady knew that the attorney would make findings against me. The mayor used the attorney's lies to personally and professionally attack me at every chance he had. He still uses the attorney's lies to go after me. It's been almost 3 years to expose the lies behind this attorney. The public needs to know how the mayor violated the law to attack me because I left his political party and I refused to be part of the lies and the corruption. In July of 2021, the complaint that was filed against me, it was filed against me. On August 8th, Patrick W. Walsh was appointed to investigate me. And on December 30th, 2021, Walsh returned his findings. The village ordinance prohibited somebody from O'Grady's firm from being assigned to investigate ethics complaints. The village ordinance also prohibits the appointment of an attorney who would have a conflict of interest based on the things like a relationship with O'Grady's firm.
Excuse me.
The
Diane.
Open Meeting
Laura,
Act so lets
hold on,
me
stop.
talk, and I'm
Will
going to
you-
continue
Will
talking.
you please stop the
No, I'm
clock,
not gonna
Laura?
stop
Laura,
talking.
please stop the clock.
Stop the clock. I
Go
can
ahead.
continue talking. I have the right.
You cannot.
to-
The
I'm
clock
gonna
is
continue
stopped.
talking.
Attorney, will you
The
please,
Open
will you
Meetings
please
Act
respond to her?
prohibits the board from a current attorney's in executive session, but that's exactly what the mayor.
Will you
Ma'am.
please
among
respond to
other
her?
Ma'am.
did.
Ma'am.
You did not want to do it
Ma'am.
in an open session because.
Diane,
you
we will
wanted
keep
to
order and
question
decorum.
the
You should just start the clock.
appointment. I'm going to keep
Start-
talking because I have a right to.
Officer King, will you
I have a
go?
right to stand here and talk.
Diane, we are
You're gonna
we asked to
violate my
stop the
freedom of
clock.
speech
We're
rights,
not.
but
We asked to
okay.
stop the clock so the
Open
attorney
Meeting
could
Act
address your
prohibits
comments.
the board
Diane,
from- I'm not going to stop
we're-
talking.
we're going to
Why
keep
do you do
order-
this only to me?
we're not. We're
Why?
going to keep
Maybe
order and
you have
decorum.
special rules
We're going to
for
keep
me.
order and decorum. Attorney, will you
I'm gonna
please respond to her?
continue talking 'cause I have every right to-
You're-
You don't want anyone to question Mr. O'Grady's suggestion having Mr.
Just talk
Walsh
over and
appointed.
put it on the
You also
record,
didn't want
please.
Okay,
anyone to ask
ma'am,
any
let the
questions about
record
Mr. Walsh
reflect
because
that
you
Ms.
knew-
Galante made a statement of corruption, which is per se defamatory.
I can say anything I want. That is not true. I have a right to stand here and talk about everybody, how I feel
Just
and
keep
what
finishing
they've
your
done.
comments.
Do you can't say anything you want unless you
Oh,
have a
yes, I
good
can.
faith or a reasonable
I am-
basis to
yes,
believe.
I do have. Oh, yes, I will. Let me continue, please.
Okay, then
Can I
please put
continue?
that on the record
I'm going to get to the
to
end
support
to show
the good
truth.
faith basis
Let me
you have to
finish.
believe that there's
You're not
corruption.
gonna let me finish telling exactly what took place. Am I gonna be allowed to finish? Am I gonna be allowed to finish? Okay, I'm gonna keep talking. The bad thing is, I didn't even know
Start
you
the
guys
clock.
muted my
Just
voice.
wanted to put it on the
at home.
record.
The public doesn't even get to hear me. It was in April 20, I'm gonna start back up here. You didn't want anyone to question why Mr. O'Grady suggested having Mr. Walsh appointed. You also didn't want anyone to ask any questions about Mr. Walsh because you knew that O'Grady and Walsh had a business relationship before the time that Walsh was appointed to investigate me. It was in early 23, I was informed that Patrick W. Walsh of W. Walsh, the attorney who had been appointed to investigate me, was listed as an attorney on Paul O'Grady's law firm. A clear violation of the ordinance and a conflict of interest. I filed an ethics complaint, and it was investigated by a lawyer named Michael Maravich. I told him that Mr. Walsh was listed as a lawyer in O'Grady's firm on the website, and that in April of 23, O'Grady and Walsh had filed appearances that they were in a federal case in Texas. In August of 2023, Mr. Maravich filed his report, and here's what he wrote. He said, back to me, while my ethics complaint was not followed up on. Given that your entire case revolves around the working relationship with the existing between Mr. Walsh, the ethics attorney, and the village attorney, and Tinley Park's attorney, Peterson, Johnson, and Murray, LLC, prior to the time Mr. Walsh was appointed, and during all phases, he made a call to Mr. O'Grady who told him that he had never worked with them prior to August of '23. He followed up and denied my ethics complaint. Mr. Walsh claimed that O'Grady, he wrote back on November, that he didn't have any, he wrote that on November 29, 2022, I agreed, this is Mr. Walsh, I agreed for an of-council independent contractor agreement with Peterson, Johnson and Murray, LLC. Mr. Walsh further stated, I have no relationship, no business agreement with the firm, Peterson, Johnson and Murray, when I investigated Diane Galante and made the findings on the complaint. Both lawyers claimed they had no business relationship until November of '22, some 11 months later. That was a complete lie. I learned it was a lie after the FOIAs from Calumet City, where they seemed to work together. It wasn't easy getting this Calumet City to follow the FOIAs, as Mr. Walsh is a lawyer for Calumet City. In addition to Mr. Walsh is Mr. Michael J. Casper, who the mayor just hired as special counsel in Tinsley Park in February, as a corporate counsel for Calumet City, and now he's here. Production of these documents from Calumet City was sporadic. The documents were often incomplete. I had to go to the Attorney General. I was able to get the documents that proved that Mr. O'Grady and Mr. Walsh lied. Calumet City first produced PJM invoices that show lawyers from O'Grady's firm and Walsh worked together in July of August of '22, well before November of 2022, which is what they stated. Here's the invoices, dated 12/22. Here's draft Mayor Jones and Pat Walsh regarding the meeting with Public Works, Peterson, Johnson, Murdy, Patrick Walsh. Here's one with Deanna, having an interview with the city, interviewing with the city. Here's some other attachments working together with Patrick Walsh, Peterson, Johnson, and Murray. Here's 2 invoices. So what they said doesn't actually add up. With additional help from the Attorney General came an invoice from Mr. Walsh. It says nothing this is another invoice. This one came after I filed again with the Attorney General because I know there were more invoices, and I got this one. Proof that O'Grady and Walsh were co-counsel in December of '21, the month that Walsh filed his ethics complaint against me. I'll be back.
Thank you for your public comment.
I'll be back.
Thank you.
And the record is clear that,
We will keep order and decorum, Diane.
and the record's clear that none of that related to the mayor, and there was neither a good faith nor a reasonable basis to support the accusation against the mayor of corruption or the village or any officials of the village.
Thank you. So after that, is there any other public comment?
I have not done this before, and I'm not a public speaker, so I do have notes.
Can you hold on one second, ma'am? You ready, Laura? It's all yours.
Okay. I'm Doreen. I'm here with my husband, Jim, along with some of our neighbors who are concerned with the effects of the construction project on 175th Street. So thanks for allowing us to speak. Let me begin by saying construction is never fun. We realize there will always be some degree of inconvenience. However, our main goal tonight is to keep people safe and minimize that inconvenience for all. I'm not sure how many of you sitting on the board know of the area of construction at 175th and Ridgeland Ave, or how there is a consistent stream of traffic that continues to ignore the do not enter road closure signs and continue to go westbound, mostly using Highland Avenue to go through, but some still ignoring the signs and going through to Ridgeland. It's astounding. My husband, Jim, and I have been longtime residents of Tinley, building our house on the corner of 175th and Highland over 35 years ago. During this time, we've consistently struggled with cars whipping around the corner, speeding down Highland Avenue, vehicles using our driveway and that of our neighbors as a turnaround, students parking along both sides of Highland in front of our house, and parents parking on both sides of Highland to pick up their students from the high school because they don't want to deal with doing so in the high school parking lot. Thankfully, we did get signs erected for no parking 7 to 9 a.m. to deter students from parking there. However, we still have many parents picking up their children using Highland rather than the school parking lot. After seeing a student entering her parents' car, another car came whipping around the corner, almost hitting her. I called the village, I called the school, both asking if they would
asked parents for safety's sake to pick up their students at the high school only, not on Highland, but they would not do so. With school starting in less than a month, and with this construction, things are only going to get worse. We will have more parents lining the sides of Highland because they're not going to want to go to the high school and then be forced to go only eastbound on 175th Street. They will again try to make their way going the wrong way through construction and then use Highland Avenue. So far, our neighbor opposite of us, in order to avoid a car coming the wrong way, hit a barricade and did damage to his front end. We've heard that there was another head-on accident a couple weeks ago. We constantly hear vehicles laying on the horn because people continue to try to go the wrong way. If I'm going to bring problems, I'm hoping to bring some solutions. And I don't know what has been planned so far, if hopefully you guys have something planned because of school starting soon. So first solution, we see this speed monitor was put up. It has done little to deter speeders. I watch how fast people continue to speed right past the sign, or some slow down for a bit, only to once again speed up. We have young children in our neighborhood, and I am afraid someone's going to get hurt or killed. Second, we have seen some police presence in pulling over those going westbound where there are do not enter signs. We would like to request police presence for at least the first few weeks of school during the morning drop-off and also in the afternoon when parents are coming to school to pick up their children. Third, we would like to request that Tinley Park High School put out a letter to all parents that ask that they are not to use Highland for a drop-off pickup spot. Also, that they will be able to go eastbound only on 175th Street and to please allow more time to drop off or pick up your student. And fourth, install speed bumps. I know my husband said that might be an issue with snowplow removal. But if I heard anything in my discussions with my neighborhood residents, it was to install speed bumps, that it could be a deterrent to speeders. So, thank you. Made it.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much.
Thank you.
Doreen. So what I can add to that, Doreen, unfortunately, it is a problem. I know what you're talking about because I have an aunt that lives on 175th Street, and she deals with it, and I can guarantee you our police will have more of a police presence. We've received that comment, and for school, our village manager, Pat Carr, and our police chief, Tom Tilton, will talk to Teresa Nolan from Tinley Park High School and work with her. She's phenomenal to work with. Teresa's phenomenal, and we're gonna see her tomorrow, so we could talk to her, but yes, we will most definitely work. It is a problem, and I just don't understand why it's east only, but people want to go west. It's just kind of.
They think because they have like a couple blocks, they could just.
It's a different world that we live in today.
It's bad.
But yes, we will get on top of that, and there will be a strong police presence for that moving forward. And one thing I'm going to add real quick before there's another public commenter. I also wanted to thank, too, during this storm, too, who plays a huge role in running our dispatches, our EMA coordinator, Lisa Cordum. She was in the EOC all last night with our police and fire and some other agencies, too. I think Public Works all night, too. So without Lisa and our EMA, our dispatch would not run as smoothly as it does. And just in regards to a comment that the first commenter made with the Pat Walshes, we unfortunately have been dealing with that for years. She doesn't know who is Pat Walsh. We've dealt with that. The previous village managers tried explaining there's different Pat Walshes. So, is what it is. There's more than one Pat Walsh. She just unfortunately doesn't seem to understand that. Is there any other public comment?
My name's Chris Miller, and I live at 9422 Quilt Trail. I'm here tonight because back on March the 13th, we had a water main burst in our neighborhood. And unfortunately, the street flooded. And in order to repair the water main, it caused my driveway, my neighbor's driveway, part of our circle drive that had to be torn up. And on the night that the water main was repaired, the asphalt was temporarily repaired I think they use their pickup trucks to smooth it out. And now we kind of have a big sinkhole forming in our neighborhood. We were told that it would take at least 3 months for everything to settle before they could permanently replace the asphalt. It's been a little over 4 months now. We've been in contact with the Public Works, haven't gotten any kind of timeline as to when they're gonna repair our asphalt in our neighborhood. And it's becoming a safety hazard because we have a couple of handicapped amputee neighbors that can't get to their mailbox anymore because our pavement is torn up in our neighborhood and the condition of the pavement's getting worse. So I'm here tonight because I'm just asking if we can go ahead and look at getting this project prioritized or expedited in the interest of safety so none of our neighbors get hurt. So, thank you.
Well, thanks, Chris. John, do you by any chance have any updates on Quail?
Texting the foreman right now.
Okay. He's gonna see if he can get information if you want before you leave, and then get an answer by the end of the meeting. Does that work?
Sure.
Thanks, Chris. Are there any other public comments? You know, 1 second, sir. You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm not gonna take
It's all
6
yours.
minutes.
Well, we just gotta make sure we do it the same
I
every
wanna go
single
home too,
time.
like you guys. I just thought a couple other things. I'm Jim, Doreen's husband. A couple other things to touch on that she did already. The speed monitor already put in. It's kind of like a challenge now to see how fast they can go, to how high they can get it to go. So, it worked one day. It was kind of nice. Another suggestion is for those kids or parents picking up their kids in front of our house every day. I know Panduit has worked with the high school before for some events. Maybe the parents could go in their parking lot and pick up the kids rather than blocking our driveways. Hitting my blocks, I try to keep it neat at the end of the driveway. I built walls on the side of my driveway. They turn in and hit them. My neighbors know I'm out there repairing it all the time. Just get tired of it. I got guys on camera. If I showed the guy, he's like, wasn't me. I'm like, it's your car. Well, that was my wife. So, yeah, the guy's wife. He wasn't there that day. So, another thing, just leaving the house tonight and all day Saturday. Driver's ed car is coming the wrong way through there, showing a kid it's okay to go the wrong way. When we were on the way here, I stopped him. I said, "You're really teaching a kid to go the wrong way, huh?" He goes, "It's set up to do that. They're supposed to do that." I'm like, okay. But anyway, another issue. And I don't mean to be a complainer, but I know we've been dealing with this for years since they put the sidewalk in on 175th with these, it's growing and growing every year with the parents picking up their kids. I don't think any of you would like it in front of your house every day. My dog goes crazy, the neighbor's dog goes crazy. My wife works from home a couple days a week. She's on the phone every day at 3 o'clock. It just goes crazy. So, yeah, just adding on to what she said. And then 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock every night, it's like a rush hour through there, coming the wrong way. It's posted at Central, it's posted at the high school, but they just keep coming, so. Like I said, a cop has been there, he's there, pulls a few people over and then he's gone, but yeah, we would like more presence, so. Thanks for your time. I don't want to take any more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to add to your Panduit comment. I think on the surface, it's a great idea. The flip side of that is now we're gonna be asking kids to walk across the street responsibly. And therefore, unfortunately, if we got involved and asked them to walk across the street and they got hit, who's the first person they're gonna sue? They're gonna sue your village. So, yeah, I let them meet with, Principal Nolan, and see if they can all come up with some different ideas and obviously, or beef up the policing in that area for you guys. And the reason we put the sidewalk in, I think because kids were walking down 175th Street to school, and so that was a danger. So I'm sorry that it affected you, but we needed to do that to keep the kids off the street to protect them as well. So, I mean, apologize. It's like every time you do something good, there's always a con to it. So, we'll work. Like, we have a great police chief, fire chief, village manager, and Teresa's phenomenal to work with. So let them get together and talk and see if they can come up with some type of solution to alleviate. Thank you. I agree. Thank you. Are there any other public comments?
My name's Ron Armour. I live next to Jim and Doreen. Moved to Tinley in '67, seen it grow. I mean, Harlan didn't even go through, you know. Now, our water main keeps getting broken, I don't know, 10, 20 times, I don't know, since I moved in there on Highland. Is that gonna be fixed with this, all this other construction going on 175th? The water main keeps getting broken all the time.
Do you have a couple questions, or just wait till you're done?
Okay, okay, yeah. And,
That's where you can get them all out,
okay, yeah,
and we'll-
that's great. I'm not used to public speaking. One thing, why does Andrew have police monitoring their in and out? Tinley Park High School does not. You're talking about, and I approve that we put that sidewalk in, because they had to cross the street, or, because there was a sidewalk on Panduit, and they'd always have to cross the street for how many years, you know? And now there's a sidewalk there, but why don't we have a police officer with the traffic going in and out of Tinley Park High School? And, you know, I mean, when I grew up, I was on the other side of Harlem, so we were like the unwashed. We had to go to Sandburg. Now I'm on this side. Now we seem to be the unwashed, because on this side of Harlem, all the new homes and everything. But, you know, why don't we have that police presence?
I believe, Pat, don't we?
We don't have the traffic.
You don't have traffic, but you have internally in the building?
Yeah.
And why? Is that because the other towns don't wanna?
I don't think it's been requested by Tinley Park, by the high school. So Andrew requested it years ago, and Orland Hills and us partner on that traffic on.
And Andrew pays for it too, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we only had one, it's, you know, it's 2 lanes over there, and there's 1 lane here, and they're always going in around, and they're, you know, big giant hole where they go around on 175th, where they drive through the grass and everything to get around the cars that are turning it to Tinley Park High School.
Because we do have an MOU with both high schools for the inside. Andrew, I believe, is just for the outside. Because we've approached Tinley before in the past.
Excuse me?
We've approached Tinley
Oh,
before in the
okay.
past, because most of a large portion, I think Ken and Dennis might know more of the numbers than I would, but I believe a large portion of the kids that go there don't even live in Tinley, and we've asked the other communities if they would help pitch in, and they haven't, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the high school didn't wanna contribute to that part of it, so, I mean, if they requested it, then we would obviously.
Well, we have all those homes going in, you know, where they got property from Panduit, so there's more kids coming in.
The high school needs to request it.
No, I
And make
understand.
an
I
MOU
understand.
with the village, and that's what Andrew did. 230, we created an MOU with them for their schools, or for their one high school.
Okay. So they have to ask.
Yeah, I mean, Pat can talk to Teresa.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna meet with Teresa
All right.
tomorrow, so we'll bring that.
Yeah, I know her well. I used to coach up there. About our water mains on Highland.
Do you know anything about the Highland?
Yeah, the main on Highland is actually not that old. The problem is the soil out there is super acidic, so it's causing degradation in certain areas. They have had 4 in like the past 3 years, off the top of my head, but again, the age of the main is not that old compared to some of the other areas we prioritized in the water model.
Okay, because every time when I go out there to talk to them, it's like, oh yeah, this is really old. It'll be replaced and all that. So you're saying it's not that old.
It's not that old.
So okay, so why is?
We've got main in town that's over 50 years old.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
And again, obviously
Okay.
that's a priority over, you know, we have everything based on our water model for the village-wide. You know, we've got a section in front of Central Middle School that I'm sure you're aware is getting replaced right now. That was 60 years old, and we were getting, you know, main breaks almost once a month out there. So, you know, we got things prioritized based on how often the breaks are, how old the main is. what it does to the, the response of the residents there. So,
Well, okay, across from their house, there's at least 5 spots where it's been broken. Okay, in the last, well, we've been there since 92. So I know, and then there was just one down the street just a little while ago.
Ron, could you leave your contact information with Lisa Valley in the back?
Sure.
Next to the wonderful Officer King. And then John could have his staff look up exactly how old it, I don't, obviously he's not gonna know offhand.
No, I
See how-
understand,
See
I
how
understand.
old it is, how many breaks you've had in the last couple of years, and then they also can tell you when it's scheduled to replace it altogether.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it was gonna be tied into 175th project there.
I don't, like I said.
Okay,
it'd
all right.
Then they'll call you, and then they get a chance to go look at the water model, they can see how old your water main is, they can see how many breaks you've had, the reasons why, because some of the people don't realize we've had breaks, because when there's been power loss somewhere else that connects to us, and it back surges into us.
No, I can understand that.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Are there any other public comment? Nope.
My name is Larry Garrity. Some of you know me. The mayor and I know each other for a long time. I've been watching this project that the Park District's doing at the Howe Center. I went in on the bid meetings and so on and so forth. The guy wanted to know who I work for. I said, I work for me, and I said, I'm gonna keep an eye on you. They seemed really surprised that the bids were more than they expected. They figured their $15 million was gonna fix everything over there. The bids were quite wide-ranging, and a lot of the local wreckers wouldn't even bid on it because they were so concerned about the kind of slipshod way it was all put together. They've got some fellow that was a pipe fitter president that, I don't know what kind of background he's got, that's running this project. The last meeting, there's a remediation meeting every month. The last meeting was last Thursday, when the lady decided that they took the 5 bidders, didn't like some of the information they got, and sent letters to them to adjust their bids. You don't do that. I've never heard of that. I've been working construction on some big projects for the city for years. I've never heard anybody give a contractor the opportunity to add almost $5 million to his bid. Right now, they say there's 2.5 or 2.4 million gallons of water on the surface there. And they're putting out a project to pump it out. And it's got to be pumped somewhere, and I think it's got to go through the village, and I think the village really needs to be involved more, step on these people some way, somehow. I mean, it's just like an old fellas club over there. It's kind of a joke, and they just want to keep right on going. And they've already passed legislation. They don't need any permits or any help from you at all. But when the Park District drops the ball, it's going to be the village that's left holding it.
Well, that's kind of the problem when Bob Rita and Hastings took away the village's power for that property. There's no oversight now. And now they have a gentleman from the Illinois EPA putting an email to the clerk that you can't pump that water into the sanitary, and now we have them asking our Public Works Director if we can pump it in. And that's the problem, and there's no oversight whatsoever, and it's gonna get dangerous quick, because we have people doing this, in my opinion, that have absolutely no clue what they're doing, and have not been involved in construction. The fact that you allowed someone to just add another $4.5 million to their bid, it's insane.
But eventually, it's going to start backing up far enough that it's going to start flowing into the ditch along Harlem. It's going to go somewhere, and it's going to go back into the river, the water, the creeks. So, I mean, someone's got to, we're on fire. And,
We're gonna be stuck holding the bag for it, that's the
Well, of
problem.
course, yeah.
The not the village, but the residents, we're gonna get stuck paying for that.
So, I don't know, this needs to be put out to the public, that people can understand what those guys are doing over there, because this is, it's not good for any of us. Thank you.
Sir, could I ask you a question?
Sure.
You said surface water. Are they talking about the water that's in the basement and the tunnels as well?
This is aside from the water in the tunnels and the basements. During the bid process and everything else, we asked them and asked them and asked them, is this water contaminated? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. So that's how you get one guy that bids $14 million. Well, he doesn't say that the water's contaminated. I'm not gonna bid that it's contaminated. I don't have that. They say, what do we do with the, can we use the demolition, the demolished concrete for backfill? No, you can't do that. They won't let you put it back in the ground because it may be contaminated. So I'm a wrecker, I'm gonna say, well, I got all this concrete, I'm gonna tear it out, I'm gonna put it here. He didn't tell me to do anything with that. He didn't tell me to crush it, didn't tell me to haul it away. I'm gonna leave it there. That's another piece that I didn't put any money on. Now, the guy that had the $32 million bid, he bid to clean all that water, bid to haul all that concrete away. It was just a hodgepodge way of putting the whole bid together. It was just not spelled out right. And then to turn around and just say, well, we know you didn't have enough money. Here, we'll give you some more. I'd like to have that kind of deal.
So they never tested, or are they saying that they didn't test the water in the tunnels or the basements?
The 2.4 million gallons of surface water, they're calling it, is not contaminated. They said it should be able to be pumped anywhere.
Okay,
Not the tunnels. There's a mile and a half of tunnel,
1.6 miles.
86
approximately 5 million
basements or
gallons.
something like that, yeah.
It's approximately 5 million gallons of water, then with the 10 basements full, is approximately another 5 million.
But they didn't tell anybody what to do with the water or how to do it with the water. So how do you bid on a contract that you don't even know what they want you to do with the water? How am I supposed to put a number to what? I don't know. So I don't put a number to it. So I want a change order. Oh, gosh, all of a sudden, we need another $5 million from the state or somebody. And they have no idea where this extra money's coming from. They're working on it.
5 million.
But it's really sad. And I'm afraid that the village is gonna be left holding the bag.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy your sandwich.
Good evening. My name is Laura. I live a block south of the corner of Highland and 175th. I understand that 175th is run by the county or owned by the county. Is that correct? I'm not sure who would be in charge of that, but my question was in regard to maybe trying to find another solution as well to those of us who live on Highland, and in regard to the signage in particular, if there's a way that the residents, those of us who live on Highland, especially close to 175th, would be able to have access without the road closed sign preventing us from going west on Highland from the high school forward. We can't go west that way, so we can't enter Highland coming west. So if there could be a sign perhaps that said that was for local traffic only, if that would be able to be monitored correctly or enforced correctly, or if there was some way residents on Highland there, as far down as possible, could have some specific designation that they could place on their car that would show residency, perhaps. Just another idea, putting it out there, because it is going to be, from what I understand, not finished until the fall of '25. So we're going to have a year of this. So just hopeful that there's some thoughtful discussion about how to make the residents less inconvenienced. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other public comments anyone would like to make? No? Item number 26, can I have a motion, please, to adjourn to executive session to discuss the sale or purchase of securities, investments, or investment contracts.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Thank you, everyone.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. We are adjourned, and we will not be coming back. Thank you.